Do you know how to get an awful sports team owner out? Sadly, it's usually death. For this next group, you'll probably just have to wait then. The most hated owners in sports is coming up right after this. Yo, starting your own business is hard enough. Trust me, I know. And probably the most important thing is setting yourself up for growth in the right way. That's where ShipStation comes in, the solution to shipping that makes things easier by integrating you with every shopping cart and storefront. So your products are easier to find, easier to manage, and easier to get into happy customers' hands. What's great is ShipStation imports orders from any online source, eBay, Etsy, Amazon, and can automate any shipping task. And it's the same on the way out too. UPS, FedEx, and USPS all work with ShipStation. For me, I like that ShipStation helps lower barriers to running your own business. If you're an online retailer, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. ShipStation helps bring all your revenue streams together in one easy place. So after this video, go to shipstation.com/5points and get a 60-day free trial just in time for the busy season. Again, that's shipstation.com/5points from the link below and get 60 days free. ShipStation. Make ship happen. For this video, I divided the owners into two categories, ones who are hated by their fans and ones who are hated by everyone. Hated by their own fans, Bob Nutting, Pittsburgh Pirates. Bring up the name Bob Nutting to a Pirates fan and expect the next 5 minutes of your life to be occupied with an expletive-filled rant about how much that dude sucks. Bob, who inherited his family newspaper business like his father and father before him, became principal owner of the Pirates in 2007, ushering a new era where being in the black is much more important than the black and yellow. There's nothing wrong with that. However, his love of the bottom line has consistently handicapped the Pirates and made them losers. Since he took over, the Pirates have been at the bottom of the MLB payroll, with Nutting choosing to let star talent walk instead of paying them. His strategy of investing into cheap foreign markets like the Dominican Republic rather than in retaining talent has resulted in the Pirates essentially becoming a developmental team for the rest of the league. A minor league team in a beautiful ballpark. The fire sale of 2017/2018 really capped off fans' frustrations, where Garrett Cole and Andrew McCutchen were sold off to the highest bidders. This even caused the MLBPA to file a grievance alleging Nutting isn't using the funds from revenue sharing to improve his team as required by the CBA. And that was pretty much confirmed when the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette found out Nutting was simply pocketing those dollars. Despite him crying poverty, Nutting ranks among the top 10 in the MLB richest owners. Pirates fans enjoy Oneil Cruz while you can. The Glazers, Manchester United. Tampa Bay Bucks fans don't hate the Glazers, but to a Man U fan, oh boy. Their hate of the Glazers started back with the late Malcolm, who began as a watch repairman and had a diverse portfolio of businesses. Malcolm acquired Man U in 2005, and it's been a rocky road since. Heck, it was rocky even before he took over. The hate for the Glazers started when Malcolm used what's known as a leverage buyout to acquire the team. He basically got a loan and then put the debt of that loan on the team, not himself. That might sound like business gobbledygook, but what it means is the supporters of Man U essentially throw their quid to paying off the Glazers' interest and for the privilege of American wankers to own the team. That was all well and good when they were winning tables, but the last few years have been rough, with Man U becoming a laughingstock and the Glazer kids running the team. Combined with the ruthless commercialism and the Super League fiasco, the three sons not seeming to care and the team licking donkey balls, supporters of Man U have had enough. Virginia Hollis McCaskey, Chicago Bears. In current times, most owners take the reins of the franchise by being wealthy prior to their acquisition. In the case of the Bears, the Hollis McCaskey family is wealthy because of the team itself. Virginia's father, George, took ownership of the Bears in 1920 and since has seen it build up to a multi-billion-dollar industry. Along with that growth has been the contempt Bears fans have shown for their 99-year-old owner who inherited the team in 1983. Most of that anger has been centered around how the organization is run, particularly when Virginia put her son Michael in charge for 16 years. Now her other kid, George, runs the show, and it's also been a comedy of errors. They once hired a coach without about telling him, banned cheerleaders, hired Matt Nagy and completely botched his firing, held on to Ryan Pace for too long, and started Rex Grossman in a Super Bowl. Don't get too optimistic, Bears fan. When Virginia does pass on, there will be nothing to stop George Jr. from messing things up. Bob and Phil Castellini, Cincinnati Reds. It's one thing to argue with fans, but it's another to be the owner and take a Skyline Chili-sized shit right in your supporters' laps. In 2022, when facing questions about the state of the Reds, team owner Bob Castellani's son Phil said, "Where are you gonna go? Let's start there. Sell the team to who? What would you do with this team to have it be more profitable, make more money, and compete more?" And instead of apologizing the next day, Phil doubled down on his comments.
Are you going to abandon being a Reds fan? Are you going to abandon following this team? We haven't abandoned it. We haven't abandoned investing in the team and the community. So the point is, how about everybody just settle down and celebrate and cheer for the team? You can hate on us all you want. We're not going anywhere.
The moves the Reds have made over the years make it hard to be a Reds fan. In 2021, they are above 500, but instead of investing in the team to get them to the next level, they held a fire sale. Castellini's comments came after they got rid of popular players Nick Castellanos, Amir Garrett, and Jesse Winker. All this while wasting the career of national treasure Joey Votto. The Castellinis micromanaged the Reds with no justification to do so, and the Reds fans absolutely hate it. Now, owners hated by everyone. James Dolan, New York Knicks. Yes, bring up the name James Dolan and everyone, not just Knicks fans, will have something to say. After inheriting the Cablevision empire from his father, James is a decent businessman. However, when it comes to the Knicks, he's worse than his jazz band. Hiring Isaiah Thomas, hiring Larry Brown, hiring Scott Layden. Unlike the Rangers, who I'm not sure if he knows he is the owner of, Dolan's constant meddling has taken a once perennial contender and turned them into New York street garbage. Their record speaks for itself. You have to work pretty hard to make players not want to come to the Mecca of basketball. He banned a fan for telling him to sell the team. He banned Knicks legend Charles Oakley from the Garden. He hired Isaiah Thomas to run his WNBA team, tone deaf to his sexual harassment incident. He also doesn't talk to the media and hates criticism. The sensitive type. Dan Snyder, Washington Commanders. I feel like I've covered how hated Dan Snyder is so much on this channel that it's a pretty tired act. But it could not be a video about hated owners if the sewage spiller himself wasn't on the list. He's allegedly pimped out his cheerleaders to sell luxury boxes. He himself is at the center of a harassment lawsuit. Congress wants to call him on the carpet, but he's hiding on his yacht. It is kind of interesting that they went through all of his emails and didn't find a thing. However, they haven't looked at any other team's emails. Interesting. Overall, he's tone deaf to how much he's hated. He meddles in team affairs and roster moves, though he swears he doesn't. He treats the fans like shit, his stadium is shit, and he can't take criticism. I'm honestly tired of talking about how much he sucks. Jimmy Haslam, Cleveland Browns. Dan Snyder is so bad, people seem to gloss over how awful Jimmy Haslam is. First, let's start with the fact that he's a giant Steelers fan and had to sell his share in the Steelers so that he could buy their division rival. That would be fine, if the Browns' record versus the Steelers since 2012 when he bought the team wasn't 4-15-1. Then there's a scandal at Haslam's company, Flying J, which had 17 of his former employees plead guilty to fraud. Basically, the company screwed truck drivers, in particular Hispanic drivers, out of discounts, but was also more or less issuing them kickbacks. Haslam claims he knew nothing of the fraud, but there was this one thing he knew about and chose to ignore: Deshaun Watson's nearly 30 allegations against him. That didn't stop him from signing Watson to the largest guaranteed contract in NFL history, and then trying to justify it by saying Watson has a lot of football left in him. I'd say he's selling his soul for some W's on the gridiron, but I doubt he has one. Before we get to our last one, I just want to mention Stan Kroenke and Dean Spanos. Spanos is being sued by his own sister after leaving the city of San Diego high and dry. Kroenke screwed over the city of St. Louis, but isn't hated as much to Avs and Rams fans because winning fixes everything. Arsenal fans, different story. And finally, Artie Moreno, Los Angeles Angels. Look, you usually don't get to be a billionaire by being a great person, but the one thing that pisses sports fans off the most is when someone uses their team as the center point of their scam. That's what Artie Moreno did, as he agreed to purchase Angel Stadium from the city of Anaheim for $320 million. The problem, he did so in exchange for a sizable campaign donation to Mayor Harry Sidhu. Oh, guess what? Moreno wanted the surrounding parking lots, which he would control and keep from being converted into affordable housing or develop it into unaffordable housing. Even worse, at some point the city could decide to put a publicly funded new stadium on the lot, and Artie would triple win, enjoying the profits while screwing everyone in the process. Too bad the FBI knew the gig was up, and the uncovering of the deal forced Mayor Sidhu to resign. On top of that, despite having Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, Josh Hamilton, Anthony Rendon, Jared Weaver, and a slew of other top talent, the Angels have been terrible. And any baseball fan has to be mad that Trout and Ohtani, two of the best players on the planet, are being wasted by Artie's overspending and mismanagement. At least, though, he does want to win. Because of the scandal, Moreno has announced he is willing to explore the sale of the team. You know, though, I'll give him credit. At least he knows when to bow out. I just wonder how Twitter is going to react the day Dan Snyder goes the way of the Queen. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and if you made it this far, subscribe. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.